Let's start. Was the sound too low in Zoom or was it okay? Okay. Hare Krishna. Hari Hari. Okay, so now let us continue. We were discussing Bhagavad Gita 1.28. Please chant after me. So now, what after seeing the armies, what did Arjuna said? We'll discuss that. Is a simple example. See, now we have a sankalpa. Earlier we had a determination that we'll only discuss Bhagavad Gita till 8:15. Now we have taken up a determination that we'll also discuss English. So if we have a determination, we can do it. And if we have no determination, then we say, okay, isn't it? It's just a matter of determination. In our homes, in our schools, in their immersion, how many hours they're studying? 8 hours, 10 hours? More than every day, more than 10 to 10 hours at least. Immersion. They become immersed in that. And naturally, they will remember about all those things. And we find sitting for 2 hours in a Gita class is difficult. It's just a matter of determination. So, okay. So let us go forward. And it's not that we're going to discuss Brahma, Atahatu Brahma Jigyasa after the class finishes. Do we do that? We don't do that. So let us go forward. I just kept 2 shlokas today. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Drishtvemam Swajanam Krishna
Drishtvemam Sajanam Krishna
Yuyusam Samupastitam
Yuyussam Samupastitam
Sidanti Mama Gatrani
Sidanti Mama Gatrani
Mukham cha Parishushati
Mukham cha Parisusyati.
Arjuna Avacha means Arjuna said, Drishtva imam Swajanam Krishna. Imam means this. Swajanam means my own family members. Now Swajanam refers to both the parties. His army and the people who were on the opposite army, both were his relatives. So he's clubbing them all together and making into one group called Swajanam. Krishna, oh Krishna, seeing them, seeing all of these people who are my own family members, yuyutsum samupastitam, they have upastit, you understand? Upastit means they are present. Samupastitam means they are very nicely present here for yuyutsu. Yuyutsu means desiring to fight. Sidanti means, what does Srila Prabhupada say? Sidanti says, quivering, Quivering. What is that? Quivering means my hands are trembling like this. Mama Gatrani means my limbs, all the limbs of my body are trembling. Mukham cha parishushati. Mukham means my mouth, or you can say my face basically is becoming dried up. Have you not seen that people's what is face is the index of mind? Have you heard this statement? Where a person is very sad, then you can look up his face and say, what is happening? It's like on one day, Karunamit Prabhu did not take rest in the afternoon. I said, what happened? Are you sick? He did not ask you. No, I'm not sick. I just did not take rest. So simply when you have not taken rest, you feel little down and like that, isn't it? Or sometimes there is some lamentation. Then you can see in the face. So that's what we understand here, that he is sad. He is not only sad, he's overcome by compassion. So all those things are external effects of what is happening within his heart. You will understand? Okay. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. Now you may see this translation as very simple. But just imagine a person whom you have loved and the person who has loved you very sincerely, and now he is turning against you to fight, to kill you. Apart from the physical thing, will we not be emotionally hurt by that? What is your understanding? It's a very emotional thing which Arjuna is speaking here, is it not? Somebody who has been your dear friend, with whom you have taken prasad. I'm just giving an example. In a devotional life, he has been very good. We used to be very good friends, and suddenly he turns against you. How will you feel? Will you not feel very bad? Not only just bad, you feel very bad. Is it not? So now, so much more is for Arjuna. He's a pure devotee. I'll tell you why. That's why I just kept two shlokas. One shloka has come, and that I'll explain why Arjuna is feeling like this. So as in his own heart, he does not feel anybody in this world is his enemy. It was not only with Yudhishthira, it's also with Arjuna. He's a pure devotee. And I explained to you earlier, he is remembering the face of Dronacharya. How Dronacharya has said, I am giving you the benediction, you become the greatest archer. Very affectionately, he has given the instructions of warfare to Arjuna, has it not? And now he has to fight with the same Acharya. You must understand, as a pure devotee, he is not attached to material things at all. He has no desire to do that. Absolutely no attachment to this material world. Zero. So he's, why you have to fight all this? Are you able to understand? Can you understand a little bit in the mood of Arjuna? Why they have to fight here? All these are my relatives. Why I should fight with them? Make sense? So this is the mood. I'm just keeping the shlokas together because the commentary is on 28, 29 together. Then we'll read the purport. Vepathuscha sharire me
Vepastuscha sarire me
romaharshascha jayate
Romaharsasya jayate
Gandivam sansrite hasta
Gandivam sansute hastva
Tvakchaiva paridahayate
Vatachaiva parihatate
Vepathuscha sharire me. Sharira, you understand? Sharira means body. Me means mind. And Vepathu means this trembling all over my body. Roma harshascha jayate. His Roma, you understand? What is called Roma in English? What is this called? The hairs on our body, they are all standing on end. This is not out of the Ashta Sattvic Vikara, which a devotee feels. It is only because of his uh, lament. Not fear. I won't use the word fear. No. I wanted to mention this point. It was not fear. Yeah, it's a mixture of sadness, emotional. Yeah, it's a shock for him. It's like an emotional shock for him. Why have to fight with these people? Why with these people? You see, it is amazing that when he had fought as Birhanala with the same people, he had none of these feelings. As a Kshatriya, he fought. So all these things are manifested by the will of the Lord. You must understand. Gandivam sanskrite hastat. Hastat, you understand? From my hand. Sanskrite is slipping. Gandivam means his bow, the famous bow, which undefeatable bow, that was slipping from his hand. All this thing is because of his palpitation of the heart, so to speak, trembling of the heart. Tvak chaiva paridahyate. Tvak means the skin, and my skin is burning. We have never had such intense emotions. Did you ever felt the skin is burning except fever? So we don't have that experience. We don't have that miserable. We never we don't have such emotions also. So we don't feel like that. But he felt like this. My whole body is trembling. My hair is standing on end. My bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. Gita Bhushan. Having been described as afflicted with lamentation, Arjuna in this verse expresses the same in his speaking. What he is feeling, he is mentioning in his speech. Swajanam, meaning his group of friends, is in the singular case to express a class. Amar Kosh says that Swajana is equivalent of friend and relative. So what is the meaning of this commentary? It means that all those who were present in the opposite side and in the side of Arjuna, they were both his relative. You remember that? Shalya was his maternal uncle. We remembered all those things. Bhurishrava, what is that? Bhima, not Bhima. Bhima is in his side. Then Bhishma, Bhima, Dronacharya, all of them were his objects of affection. Like this. After I, situated here, having seen those relatives assembled, my limbs such as hands and feet are weakening. Siddhanti. Have you felt that when we had this fever earlier? That hands have no strength? I don't know if you felt or not. Never felt? This time when we had fever, you did not? You were there. You had that fever, isn't it? When we could not, it was so difficult to even lift our body. Sometimes fever is like this. So we have that experience. And my mouth has dried up completely. Parishishyati. I don't know, we have this experience. Parishishyati. I don't remember. Do you have? No, I don't know. I remember one time, this is funny, I was maybe in fourth standard and I had not studied my history classes. So I said, this time I'm going to fail. Then my mother beat me. You rascal, you learn. And then she beat me nicely, and then I learned it, and I got a good grade also in that. But before that, I just left my hand. Said, I will not be able to pass. I will not be able to pass. I have not studied. I have not studied. I'm not able to study also. Have you not had that experience when you have not studied? When the exam comes close, now you say, "Abhi to ho gaya." I cannot do anything, isn't it? So we become a little bit afraid from fatigue. So he's feeling fatigue because of his heart situation. His hairs were standing on end. Romaharsha. Hairs doesn't mean on the head. Hairs is referring to the bodily. What do you call this? Roma. Roma is in Sanskrit. Hair is in English, but hair people will understand as hair of the head. I don't. Huh? Anyhow, we don't know this word, but the hairs which we have on our bodies. And his body was quivering, Vepathu. That his bow was falling from his hand indicated his unsteadiness, and his burning skin indicated his burning heart. I have that experience one time. Not burning skin, but palpitation of my heart. Like I was supposed to be initiated, and I was sparring from my Guru Maharaj, and one devotee blocked it. So this is something very amazing. I don't know why, just some confusion, but he blocked it. So my counselor was his own is Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. So I still remember that date. I just went to Krishna Balramji. All my problems I put on the please solve them, my dear Lord, please solve them. So it was a miracle. And then it was around 6 o'clock in the evening. And then in the evening I was there, I just went to the Lord and said, Maharaj, please solve this problem. And then when I came inside, I was sitting in my office and Sanak Sanatan Prabhu had come. Incidentally, I was not knowing also. He called Maharaj. And then Maharaj, I was telling them, Maharaj, I'm trying to practice Krishna consciousness and this devotee is blocking my initiation and all that. Then I was so much emotional. I began to cry. So very like crying like a baby. I started crying. Then immediately the light went off. I don't know how it happened. It was like something mystical. Light went off. Then Maharaj also did not say. Maharaj was quiet, and then again light came, and then I was trying to control myself. I was crying. Then Maharaj became very affectionate. No, Shok, my karmi name, don't be like this. Then he called the devotee. He solved the matters. So all these things was clear. So we can see at that time that heart was like that. My initiation will not happen. I want to take an initiation from Maharaj and like this. So sometimes, how to explain that feeling? This is called a feeling of helplessness. I'm helpless and like that. So this kind of things are going on in the heart of Arjuna also, where he's feeling that he feels himself helpless. He has to fight with people whom he's loving very deeply. So that's very difficult for him also. I should have not told this thing. I don't know why I told, but this thing happened to me sometimes. Not normally you feel I'm a very hard-hearted person, but sometimes I'm really emotional. Purport 28. Any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly persons or in the demigods. Whereas the non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualifications by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. And as such, Arjuna, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends, and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion for them who had so decided to fight among us themselves. As far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he felt compassion even for the soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death. And while he was so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. Practically the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjuna had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjuna. I think this is very, very self-explanatory what Srila Prabhupada has told. Nothing to explain. Point number 1. His heart is soft like butter. He has no material attraction, no lust, nothing, no greed. Duryodhana is not like this. Just contrast it. He's not attached. Second, he's very, very grateful. He's remembering whatever loving relation exchanges he had with all of them. The second quality of a devotee. He's always very grateful. And third, he's very, very compassionate and feeling why these people have to be killed for my sake, for my ambition. These are the three things we are seeing in Arjuna's case. Are you not? like this. And this overwhelmed him. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjuna's bodily limbs quivering, quivering means trembling, and his mouth drying up, but he was also crying out of compassion. Such symptoms in Arjuna were not due to weakness but due to soft heartedness, a characteristic of a pure devotee of the Lord. It is said, therefore. Now, this is very understood why I made it yellow to highlight it, but this shloka I wanted to discuss. Please chant after me. Yasyasti bhakt. After me, Baba. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana.
यस्यास्ति भक्ति भगवत किञ्चन
सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुराः.
सर्वैर्गुणस्तत्र समासते सुराः
हरौ भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा.
भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा
मनोरथेना सति धावतो बहिः.
मनोरथेन सति धावतो बहिः.
Chant together with me. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत्य किंचना सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुरा. हराव भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेना सति धावतो बहिः. यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत किंचना सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुरा. हरौ भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेना सति धावतो बहि. This shloka every devotee should remember. It's a beautiful shloka. Beautiful. One of the very nice shlokas I know. And this gives us hope. Yasyasti, yasya asti bhakti. In whose heart bhakti is there. To whom that kind of bhakti is there? Bhagavati, unto the Supreme Lord Krishna. What kind of bhakti? Akinchana, selfless, uncontaminated by material desires. Sarvair gunays tatra samasate surha. Sarvair gunays tatra. In that person, all the demigods' qualities are staying. But this is incomplete explanation. All the demigods with all their demigod qualities are staying in the heart of such a person. Now you understand? Can you see the difference? One understanding is that the demigods qualities are there in that person, but no. All the demigods with all their qualities are staying in the heart of that person because they want to have the association of such a person. Hearing this, don't you feel that I want to become an Akinchan devotee? Completely dependent on the Lord, completely selfless, not desiring any material benefit. But the explanation is still not complete. Srila Chakravarti Pad explains beautifully. He said, this happens for demigod worshippers also. The worshipper of Surya will get the quality of Surya. The worshipper of other demigods, they also get the qualities of other demigods. So what's the special? The special quality is that Krishna, with all his qualities, reside in the heart of the devotee along with all the demigods. Are you able to see that? I'm so enthusiastic to explain this shloka. This is so nice. Are you able to understand? Krishna with all his qualities and with all other demigods with all their qualities are residing in the heart of a pure devotee. Why? Because they like this devotee. Tumhare hridaya sada Govinda Vishram. We hear this, isn't it? Harau abhaktasya kuto mahadguna. If a person is not a devotee of Hari, he may have very good qualities, but manorathena asatidhavato bhai. He is actually situated on the chariot of mind. Today he may be very good, but as soon as his sense gratification is little bit impeded, he will immediately become your enemy. What is the example coming to your mind? Very stark example. A fellow who was taking his sister Kansa. He was a king. Out of his so-called affection, he was becoming the chariot driver of his sister and his brother-in-law. But as soon as he heard that the would-be child of his sister is going to kill him, immediately he wanted to kill her. So do not think that non-devotees are very nice. I'll associate with them. Devotees stamp on my false ego too much. I'll not associate with them. No, sir. Not at all. Very nice. This is very nice shloka. I'll explain also why I'm saying this. The quality of bhakti is it gives it's called Shubhadha. One of the qualities of bhakti is Shubhadha and Kleshagni. Shubhadha means it gives auspiciousness. Okay, able to follow? So now in that context, this shloka is quoted in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. What is this auspiciousness? It means all the good qualities will come in the devotee. Now, he explicitly says two special qualities. Shubhada means he loves every living entity and every living entity loves him. Prinanam Jagat Anuraktata. Now, why I am going into these many details? Can you see that quality in Sri Arjuna? Uddhav Prabhu, can you see that quality in Arjuna? He was loving his army people and he was also loving the people in the opposite army. He has no enemy in this world. Just to glorify Sri Arjuna and glorify the quality, special quality of bhakti. Now, another question is raised. When you are saying that bhakti gives all auspiciousness, why are you mentioning these two qualities separate? Are you able to follow? When you say bhakti gives all the good qualities, then why are you keeping these two qualities separate, that he loves everybody and everybody loves him? Then it is mentioned in the commentary because these two are very special. To love everybody, it's not an easy task. Love every living entity. And so nice that fellow is that the devotee is that everybody loves him. You see, even Prahlad was when Hiranyakashipu he took him on his lap, he used to cry. Hiranyakashipu used to cry out of affection for Prahlad. Prahlad was such a nice devotee. Only when he came to know that he is against Vishnu, he was trying to kill him. Otherwise, Hiranyakashipu loved Prahlad like anything. And all the while, Prahlad Maharaj only remembered, from his perspective, Prahlad only remembered that Hiranyakashipu had shown affection towards him. He never remembered that he has done atrocities. And that's why that's why he desires, please my father be delivered. This is amazing quality. This is amazing quality. Haridas Thakur, Jesus Christ, you take anybody, Srila Prabhupada, they have no droha, they have no animosity towards anybody. You must be thinking, that's why I just kept two shlokas so that I can focus on this shloka. That's why any disadvantage you see in your heart, you should always remember bhakti is a process. When we do selfless devotional service without desiring material benefit, Bhakti Devi itself installs, so to speak, installs all these good qualities within our own heart. Very beautiful point. So please try to remember the shloka and try to apply in your life. And we are rendering services to Krishna. When doing devotional service, we should try to be selfless. Try to desire only Krishna's pleasure. One who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of the demigods, but one who is not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the metal plane and is certain to be attracted by the glaring material energy. 5.18.12 Srimad Bhagavatam. Purport 29. I believe this is from Prahlad Maharaj only. I believe it's like that. I think it's Prahlad Maharaj's statement in fifth canto, prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. I think it is Prahlad Maharaj, yes. Purport 29. There are two kinds of trembling of the body and two kinds of standings of the hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under a material condition. There is no fear in transcendental realization. These things are understood when the person is in advanced stages of love of God. When the love of God, try to understand the science, when the love of God is manifested and it mixes with the prana of the body, then these sattvic vikars are manifested. You understood my point? When yeah, okay, somebody spoke. It's okay. I'm not saying who spoke, but I just remembering some devotee spoke. Obviously, some devotee spoke. Now, just try to understand. When we have love of God, when we have lust. So when we have our lust is joined with the prana of our body, prana functions, then our body has some whatever, rajasic vikar or whatever. Not ashta, but some rajasic vikar is coming. Is it not? Some lusty thought comes and your body has some transformation. Similarly, not similarly, but in a similar way, you understand when a person, a devotee has a love of God, when the love of God is conjoined or joins with the prana of our body, then it manifests as different symptoms. This is called Ashta Sattvic Vikar. So that is, but this is not Ashtasattvic Vikar in the case of Arjuna here. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow, Gandiva, was slipping from his hands, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to a material conception of life. But my dear devotees, you understand this is not because he has any defect. All these things are happening by the direct will of the Lord. Otherwise, for Arjuna, it is impossible to present any material affection. Getting goosebumps, hairs of body standing may be. Yes, this is called goosebumps, not pumps. Goosebumps. Bodily pores. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Goosebumps, maybe. Yes. Not maybe. Yes, like that. So we shall stop here. We go slowly. I wanted to focus on this point. In our heart, whatever lacking we feel, oh, this quality I don't have, this all will be accomplished if we serve Krishna selflessly. This is the point we have learned. And for Arjuna, a pure devotee, it is natural that he has all these qualities. So, any questions from your side? Okay, so we shall stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.